I'm sitting here with my father. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Sounds like a shakedown, doesn't it, Director?
I'm not going to get into commenting on that.
You seem deeply uncurious about it, don't you? Almost suspiciously uncurious. Are you protecting the Bidens?
Absolutely not. The FBI does not and has no interest in
you won't answer the question about whether or not that's a shakedown, and everybody knows why you won't answer it. Because to the millions of people who will see this, they know it is. And your inability to acknowledge that is deeply revealing about you.
Has been.
Okay, so when did you notice his decline?
In my interactions, in my role, all my interactions with the current president have been completely professional.
Right, but I mean the cognitive decline. I'm not saying he treated you unprofessionally, just maybe not picking things up as quickly as he used to.
Again, I don't meet with him very often, but what you're describing is not something that I've observed during my interactions with him.
I mean, we've had it observed so often that the ranking member and Mr. Schiff on this committee have said that he could no longer continue as a candidate. And so, since you're the FBI director, I was just sort of wondering, like, who's running the country? Like if something bad happened, you'd have to go brief President Biden about it right now? God forbid?
And on any number of occasions, I have briefed the president, and as I said, those briefings have all been uneventful and unremarkable.
Oh, I can imagine them being uneventful. But in the work where the vice president's also present, like you say, there's like more than half the time there's these briefings, she's there too?
I don't know if I'd said more than half the time. Certainly, there have been times where she's been present. There have been other times where she hasn't.
I take you at your word when you say this is the most complicated threat environment you've ever observed over a long career in law enforcement. And I'm just kind of wondering, with this assassination attempt, with the invasion at our border, with all the Hamas that have been let in that you've talked about and briefed about, like, is Biden up to it? And if he's not up to it, and you're a guy who's been regularly briefing him, like, who's been in on this conspiracy to hide the real Joe Biden from all of us for years? It never occurred to you that this guy wasn't up to it in all these briefings you did?
As I said, my briefings with the president have all been completely fine.
Were they between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.?
He's asked questions. There hasn't been anything of note in the area that you're talking about.
Yeah, did you ever have to brief him before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m.? We hear those are as good hours.
I've certainly times that I have briefed have included outside those hours.
Right. Okay. I think the American people want to know how we got to this point with someone who's so diminished his own party has basically put him out to pasture. And since you had close proximity and the vice president had close proximity, I'm just kind of wondering if you were being straight with all of us about how things were going with him. I guess we'll have to figure that out.
You can count on me to be straight with you, sir.
We'll see.
What are the chances that Matt Gaetz, actually has support to be confirmed?
I mean, slim to none, really. I mean, I don't see a universe in which Matt Gaetz gets confirmed. Republicans I'm talking to don't even think he's going to get to the point of having a confirmation hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee. That's how down on this nomination they are. We're even seeing right now, I'm told, Republican senators trying to convince Trump and those in his inner circle to actually reverse course on this nomination. So, again, it's just a reflection of the fact that they really see no path for Matt Gaetz. He is, I mean, you can't overstate enough how sort of reviled he is on Capitol Hill, not just among House Republicans, but among Senate Republicans as well.
And Andrew, in a 30-second answer, the idea of recess appointments, do we think that's something that could go through?
Look, it's always a possibility. Senator Thune, right before the leadership election, had expressed an openness toward it when Donald Trump threw this idea out there. I think he was more just trying to not anger Donald Trump right before the leadership election. I can't really see a universe in which this will be necessary because honestly, I really don't see Matt Gaetz' nomination getting to the point where it's viable in the Senate. And look, it would take an extraordinary measure by Donald Trump, forcing the Senate and the House both into recess, which he has the power to do as president. But again, I don't really see a situation, a scenario in which this would be needed at this point. But you can't completely rule it out. I don't see a universe in which Matt Gaetz gets confirmed. I don't see a universe in which Matt Gaetz gets confirmed. I don't see a universe in which Matt Gaetz gets confirmed. I don't see a universe in which Matt Gaetz gets confirmed. I don't see a universe in which Matt Gaetz gets confirmed.